Hey. Nice to see you all. Right, so we've got about an hour, so I thought we might do some cool stuff. And I wanted to start off by releasing Nuxt 3.17.3. We're there. We have got 3.x, a few range of commits. So this is everything we've cherry picked in. And you can see our changelog here. So lots of stuff since last week on Monday. And I've now got it. I'm very happy with where we've ended up with things, because we actually have a release workflow which runs when I merge a release branch, and it does some very cool stuff. So it actually builds and releases the project. It creates the tag, and it even creates the GitHub release for me. So all I have to do is make sure that this is the text of the release that I want, and then I merge it, and that's literally it. It's so much easier. And yes, Salma, hello, and Martin, and Aussie Boy, so many people. This is extremely cool. Bombastic. You're going to download and make a dev build of what? I'm worried. Should I be worried? Tech support. Nice to see you. Salma, yes. Hugo, good to see you. Well, I have to actually do what Salma told me, and oh, I see, the release, of course. Okay, I think we're good to go. Basically, I've run ecosystem CI a couple of times. We have everything green except for the bridge, which is an issue in NitroPack and bridge. But everything else is good. So I think we are good to merge. So I'm going to go and approve this. And I was just bragging to everybody about how I've made this so smooth to release. It used to be a very, very manual process. But now literally all I have to do is merge this PR and everything triggers off of that. So when I release this like this, it's probably going to take a while because we have lots of stuff running on the actions, but you'll see that we now have got a couple of things, a couple of actions triggered, but this is the one that we care about because this is actually going to release the project, the new version of Nuxt. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That was simple. It just has to happen. And it's waiting for a couple of other workflows, it seems. And the problem is they it's a pain. They wait upon each other. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to come back and rerun it in a second if it times out. But we'll just wait on this in one tab. But the actual thing that I wanted to build, because that didn't take much, right? The actual thing I wanted to build was this little thing. Now I should probably have known about this in advance, but someone raised this like, this little feature, this path is not known. It's not a Nuxt bug, but it's just a 404. But of course, why is it a 404? It turns out that there's this new feature in Chrome DevTools, which is that it tries to load this path, and you can basically point Chrome to the source of your workspace, and you basically have to give it a UUID. And there is actually there is an example DevTools plugin for Vite, which was created by the Chrome team, and it's extremely simple. So we can just build this for Nuxt pretty straightforwardly, I think. If Foka, are you up for that? Should we build that? Hey, Atlas as well. Hi, and sorry if I'm missing anything that anyone says, but right. Okay, let's build this. So this should be pretty simple. Cool. This is just basically storing this file. What is in the UUID JSON? Just a UUID. So it's not really a JSON as such, is it? It's more like just an ID file. Fair enough. Okay, let's do this, and should be incredibly simple, even. Cool. So we've got Nuxt pull, and we what we're going to do, of course, is not create a Vite plugin. We're going to create just a normal plugin, and most things that are Nuxt specific, they really start in this Nuxt folder. A lot of the others are less, unless you're doing an integration with a bundler, your Vite Webpack or RSPack. A utility you expect the module authors to use, or that we use outside of Nuxt, might be in Kit, but most other things go in here. And app is our runtime, and components, that's also runtime. So we're starting in core, which is probably where you want to add features to Nuxt, and plugins, that's exactly what we're talking about here. So we're going to create a Chrome DevTools plugin, and I'm just going to copy an existing one, and then we're going to remove most of the stuff. We're going to call this Chrome DevTools plugin, and it can have some options. Oh, actually, I'm not sure this is a plugin at all. Yeah, ignore that. It doesn't have to be a build plugin. I was getting distracted there. Let's go instead into, let's see, Nuxt, I think. When we're creating a Nuxt instance, we add dev server handler. Okay, we do some stuff here where we add some handlers. This is an appropriate place to do it. So we can basically create add Chrome DevTools integration, and we're basically going to add a I think we can push. I'm just going to check that it's going to work. So we want to add this path. And then it's going to respond with something. So okay, and we're just going to directly return some JSON. My cat has the most plaintive mew in the world. Is it possible for any cat to be any more? Hello. Hi. Now, I've been meaning to try this a little bit more. Are you prepared? What do you think? It's bad. You think this is not good? You can come on. Yeah. She is not impressed. That would be perfect if she could just be there behind me. Okay, so we're just going to directly return some stuff. What's it complaining about? Oh, it wants a comma. We're just going to return, what do we want? To have a workspace UID root. Ugh. For goodness sake. Okay. I'm going to pop that there. And we're going to say just empty paths. And we're going to start a dev server. And we're going to check that this correctly lands. She is beautiful. She is a very beautiful cat. She knows it. Okay, I'm hitting, hopefully. Cool. So that's working just fine. So it's landing as a the handler that we want, so we can communicate with the Chrome DevTools. And okay, so we should be good to go. Let's just quickly check and see if Nuxt release has happened yet. It is not. Now we're waiting on this one, which is also waiting for a runner. Okay, so back to here. So basically what we need to have is our absolute path to the root directory of Nuxt, I guess. Let's have a look at the how is it going to be used by Chrome DevTools. She is always like this. Always. Okay, so this is about communicating information from a dev server to debugger, the local folder of the project, and associate field data. That's why it needs a unique UUID. So, okay, so it can have like deployment URLs. It can also have workspace configuration. Oh, cool idea. Interesting. I wonder how much of this is actually implemented. Okay, makes sense. And then we have an ecosystem guide, which is what we were looking at before. And I think at the moment, all we're really doing is the folder. And I assume, does it have to be absolute path to the source folder, whether the source code is located? So the only thing I'm wondering about here is should it be the root directory or the source directory? And I think we should try it out. So I'm going to suggest doing the root directory because that feels like a little bit more what we should expose. But source directory might be another good choice too. You are always very kind, Aussie boy. Okay, we're just going to do that. So we're going to say Nuxt options root directory. And then we need a unique UID that has to be persistent across no, this is not good. Okay, basically it should be modules, cache, interestingly, we have this, what does the DevTools plugin stick it? It looks for it in the cache directory. Oh, the Vite cache directory, and it's looking for UUID.json. So we're going to call it Chrome. We'll call it should be Nuxt really. So we have cache Nuxt, and in there we've got builds. Okay, so we're just going to stick it in cache Nuxt, and then we're going to call it Chrome workspace. .json. And if we don't get it, then we're going to call yes, yeah. Sorry, the cat insists. She she be returned to her rightful place where she can be petted freely. And we basically care about the UUID is all we care about. And so we're just going to call random UUID. And let's see, let's call this project configuration. So we have our for goodness sake, parsing, and then we're catching it with a valid one. We're probably going to have to write that back. We should pull out the we could do something else, like we could detect whether the file exists or not. And we should probably also make it a bit more human readable. No, it's not. It's also very, very simple. So, hello from Indonesia. That's, what time is it? It must be quite late. Okay, so we're going to stick that in there, and then we're going to just spread this out like this. Cool. Now let's try this in Chrome. Cool. And let's try with localhost. Come on. Cool. Now we need to confirm, okay, we have DevTools 136, and we would like to see sources, I guess. Okay, this isn't working. Let's see, what do we need to do? Might need to enable it. There's Chrome flags. Let's just check that we are getting this as a response. So let's just confirm that that's coming. Oh no, of course it's not, because we haven't restarted the. Okay, so we should now be getting back. Yeah, that's what we're expecting. And also if we restart the server, this should be persistent. Although that matters a little bit less right now, but yeah. Okay, so Chrome. Partly knows this because we have source maps. So workspace. See, I feel like this should have been, maybe I'm not on the latest version. Let's just check. See, this might be embarrassing. What's the version I've got? Updates. About. It is up to date. Presumably I do have to enable it, I guess. Workspace, maybe. Let's try it again and just see. Because I would have expected that to work. Okay, great. It's detected it. Connect. Now it's asking for full permission. This is good. Cool. Amazing. So I can now see the contents of my stuff. That's nice. What if I say something like, Okay. Can I save? Yes. Okay. So I'm now actually able to edit files directly in DevTools. That's fun. Okay, and that just worked with our new integration. Oh, there's no service worker for this. That's probably some stale service worker. Yeah. Okay, so this is good. Amazing. I feel like it's working. I'm going to switch it off to be default. It should be enabled by default, right? But let's just try it one more time. And no, I think it's not enabled yet. Or at least it's not enabled on this build. Maybe I would have to be using Canary. Yes, you totally. She is lovely to pet. She is very, very lovely to pet. Yeah, probably it should only be written then. So basically what we probably want to do is something like catch Cool. It seems straightforward. It seems like a lot simpler than this, because it's doesn't have to be implemented as a Vite plugin, just directly here. Cool. Oh, the only question, I guess. I think root dir is what we want, because even if we have like an app directory, it feels like this isn't about the like a path to the file, like for example a source map path to the file. It's more about, what's that green dot? Oh, it is linked to a source map. Okay, so it is linked to a source map. So let's just confirm that if I have like app.view, and if I stick all of these things in there, that is still going to work. Yeah, still linked to the source map. So I think the root directory, oh, I guess it's an absolute path maybe, so it's not so problematic. So I feel like the root directory is right, but I guess we can just churn. Yeah, exactly. You are. That's what I'm thinking. Like, this isn't just the source directory. This means that Chrome allows you to see the whole root directory. That feels better to me, right? Because because there might be some stuff that you want to see that's not just in app, even if that is technically where your source files are. Okay. Well, that seems like it's a start, right? But we should lock it behind an experimental flag. And we probably also want the ability, there's more stuff coming. So it looks to me like we have deployment options, which means that this is probably something that we would want to do more with, maybe. I wonder if it's worth adding a new internal ad hoc module. Maybe. That would be an easy way to configure it so it can have its own options and so on. But for now, I think we just ship it under an experimental flag. So do we have any DevTools? Yeah, we've got browser DevTools timing. And we can say Chrome DevTools integration. Also, module hook. Yeah, it would be nice. I guess the question is, so right now, it's not, so first, I think we ship this. People shouldn't have to enable this because I don't think there's any downside to doing it. Like if you're using another browser, this isn't overhead. And it feels to me like I don't know. I'm just thinking ship it via a minimum level of effort. So right now, we'll just ship this as enabled. Support for DevTools project settings. Assuming I don't need to. The field data thing, that is going to need configuration, obviously, because people will need to be able to say, like, this deploys to this site. So I'm reluctant. That might also not just live in a Chrome. It might be that you set that on a project-wide level, and that might actually be quite beneficial from like a canonical URL point of view. So what we could just do is say, we'll call it Chrome DevTools project settings. And we'll say, yeah. And we'll call it integration. They initially described it as workspaces. Okay, that seems reasonable. And we'll have to add this also to DevTools here. And I'll have to add the same explanation. And we'll just set the default as well. Beautiful. Probably actually we don't therefore need it here, but Gabriel, nice to see you. Okay. I think this is us, only we have to respect it here. So if Nuxt options experimental, what did we call it? Chrome DevTools project settings, then do all of this. And later on, we'll refactor this into a module. To do refactor into a module when this is more full featured. Cool. Nice, yeah. Amazing. Okay, so let's see. Let's head to a new branch. We're going to call this feat DevTools projects. And feat Nuxt. And we'll drop that. And we will cool. Okay, so let's stick that up. Yes, Nuxt supports .config/Nuxt as a configuration file. Yeah, go ahead, give it a try. Can't believe I closed those tabs. Right, where were they? And what do you mean you're about to change to to the new config? Let's see. Okay, seems good to me. .config Nuxt. It's why do you think it should be default? Yeah, I guess it's a matter of opinion, for sure. But if you like it, that's great. Exactly, there are plenty of tools that don't. So you might move some tools in there and other ones might not support it. Okay, so we now have, what's happened? Ah, that's a pain. Okay, this is because of, I added some more rules. So people can't push tags to Nuxt. But I guess that's problematic because I need to somehow give a bypass permission to GitHub Actions. Like, how can I do that? Q, nice to see you. Yeah, this is Firefox. Interesting. I think I'm just going to have to disable it for the moment. Can I not drag this around? Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, asterisks all the way. Unfortunately, having changed that doesn't mean I can do anything about this. because I still need to push the tag in order to make this happen. So we have, git tag v3.17.3 and hello potato. And I also need to create the GitHub release. So I was bragging about all of the cool stuff. Oh, what's it complaining about? For goodness sake. Ah, I thought I caught it. Oh, we have to create the directory, I guess. All right, too much going on. So we had 3.17.3 pull request, and I'm just going to copy that text and create the release from it. So releases. That. And that is all that would have been done anyway by the action. So we're good. The only thing is I will now also pop that into the Nuxt announcements. Well, the .config folder isn't really a Nuxt thing, and we also don't like it. It's not a default. It's not a default for a reason. It's more that we're supporting an experimental thing that is supported by C12. We'll see how people like that before we advocate it or make it too complex in the docs for saying, oh, you can do this, but you can do this, but you can do this. Okay, so that's up, and right. So back to here, we have to fix the implementation, which is that we have to create the so we're just going to resolve that out. Say const cache is right, and then we're just going to join cool, and then we're going to make that okay. Hopefully that's going to build this time. And cool. So, has anyone else? Can you ask a thing from a pirate game? What does that mean? AI to the rescue, scanning the docs. Where? What do you mean? Come on, people, you do not need to add this. This I do need to do. Spend some time debugging it, but stream is probably not the best time to try. This I also need a reproduction for. No one can reproduce this. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to help you pirate a game. Okay, let's see whether there's some other things that we can solve. Now, this one is a very weird one. Lots of people are reporting this, but it's also totally safe. You can totally ignore it. Which I believe the problem is if people don't read it, then they miss that this is a safe thing. So why? Okay. Is there anything that we can do about this? It's probably not, it's definitely not a top. Okay, I'm going to try and reproduce it. So people say that people are just, they're not even giving information about how to reproduce it. I mean, I have seen it before, but how do you reproduce it in the moment? Like now I want to reproduce it. How do I do that? It's not so straightforward. So I'm going to create a project. And we have manifest root rule. And it's being added here. And what I think it's to do something about reloading a project. So you could have pages in, and I'll make it a view router project just to make it more likely to have an issue. Oh, I guess we already have one running. And I think this is to do with reloading. So it won't be to do with this, it will be to do with reloading Nuxt, the configuration file. If the issue is only reproducible on an older version of Nuxt, then it's solved. So I need to be able to reproduce it on the latest version of Nuxt, right? Does anyone know? Does anyone here have experience of this thing, this warning? Do you know what might cause it? Someone says, something to do with modules, maybe. Oh, when copying, pasting some files, like pages, okay. Oh, this is ignored because we have an app folder. DevTools. Okay, that's very interesting. Oh, not that. Oh, this is a very, very weird thing. I posted on Firefox, and actually Firefox, I can't use HMR. It's madness. Okay, so I'm opening DevTools here. And what do we want to do? We want to go and rename that to pages. That we solved. Yeah, not getting that issue. Okay. Bishal, are you, when you say Nuxt i18n, you mean Nuxt.js/i18n? So I'm not aware of any memory leak in Nuxt itself, but anyone can write a memory leak. So if you have a reproduction, you know, it probably is a memory leak, but it's probably not in Nuxt. So the question is, can you create a reproduction? It'll probably help you solve the issue, but I would guess it's probably in your code, but I can't say for sure, obviously. But yeah, see if you can because you should be able to diagnose a memory leak or reproduce a memory leak locally just by running a server and hitting it with lots of requests and seeing what happens to the memory usage. If you can reproduce it locally, then what you do is you cut out your code until the memory leak stops happening, and then investigate that. Because yeah, you know, obviously you can create memory leaks pretty straightforwardly with Pinia. You don't have to reproduce the node process dying. You have to, if your guess is that it's a memory leak, so you can reproduce a memory leak locally. Also, I should say memory leaks are a pain to debug. Whenever someone reports a memory leak, they almost invariably are not a Nuxt issue. and it invariably takes me hours to look at it. So this is why the more research you can do to investigate whether it's a memory leak, the better, and where the memory leak is coming from, because it is probably not coming from Nuxt. It is probably coming from your own code. If you can't reproduce the memory leak locally, then it will be a difference between your local environment and your production environment. And when I say locally, you should still build it and run it in the same way that you're running your production server, just on your own computer. Like, I'm not talking about running the dev server. Obviously, if you can reproduce a memory leak in Nuxt, but it's almost always not Nuxt. Yeah. Cat desires much scratching. If you can at any point reproduce, I'm going to comment on the issue just so people know that I would like it. Because I've encountered it too, but I haven't encountered it in a moment when I could investigate it. Like, it's always been, there's always been some other thing happening. Oh, for goodness sake. Some spam issues there. Oh, this should be resolved in... That was me, by the way, Fishy, just so you know. I am the one who created those issues. I was testing the spam bot. So Nuxt, when someone creates a spam issue, we move it to a private repo called Nuxt Spam, because the main thing that spammers want is visibility. So we can deprive them of visibility, and it means that I can then check Nuxt Spam periodically to see if any valid issues have gotten accidentally transferred, and it's very effective at handling spam, you know. Cool. Okay. Just out of curiosity, we won't have time to do it because I have to go in a couple of minutes. But thank you, Aussie boy. That's very kind. But any pain that anyone is facing, let me know. Is there ideally, if there's an issue, I can hack on a bit later on. Ugh. Cool. Okay, people, I'm going to go. It's been nice to hang out for a bit, and I will look forward to catching up another time. Thank you for investigating. Have a look. Let me know if there's anything else we can do. Bye. See you.